So in this video, I'm going to talk about a method that you should only use if you're actually serious about making millions of dollars at a young age. And this is the exact same thing that I've observed time and time again with the most successful people that I've interacted with. They always do this stuff consistently. And I've applied this in my own life as well. And it changed my life completely. It took me from being a broke kid a couple of years ago, living with my parents, having negative balance to my name, to now having built a life of complete freedom where I can travel the world and make multiple six figures every single year. And it all came down to this one simple principle that I applied that changed everything for me, you know? And I don't want to be this like guru in this video talking about, yeah, like you need to just do this specific business model. It's like do drop ship and you get rich, you know? This is not that, you know? What this is just understanding how you need to move, how you need to operate in whatever you do to become successful, you know? Because there's one very simple reason why I was broke for a long time. When I was like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 years old, I had goals of making money online. You know, probably just like you're watching this right now, I wanted to be an entrepreneur and make a lot of money and travel, take care of my family and like make 20K per month, etc. You know, but I didn't get there. And then I changed one very simple thing and I got to my first 10K per month in 3 months. I got my first 20K per month. I started getting freedom, you know, and I'll be able to make way more than that at 22 years old and build the life that I used to dream of, you know. And it all came down to me understanding the principle of making fast decisions, okay? And hear me out here, because it's not just like, okay, just make fast decisions and you will get rich, you know, there's way more to this, okay? Because the reason why you're stuck right now, the reason why you're broke right now and you haven't actually made your first $10,000 per month, $20,000 per month yet, watching this video right now, it's not because you haven't got like the determination or you don't have the hunger or things like that, you know. The reason why you haven't gotten is because you're just so slow at making decisions. You're moving so slowly through your life, okay? And here's what I mean by this. Like, if you look at anyone who's very successful, if you look at the most successful people in the world, you know, people like Elon Musk, people like Jeff Bezos, like the most successful people in the world, they talk about this all the time. You probably even heard about people saying this in the past, but you haven't applied it in your life, you know? People talk about this all the time where it's like, if you want to be successful, you need to just be willing to make mistakes very quickly. You have to be willing to just like move through your failures very, very quickly to actually get to your goal, you know? So it's like whatever you want to do, if you want to do like, I don't know, drop shipping or remote sales, you want to do whatever business model you want to do, you know? You're going to have to move through like you failing and you struggling for a bit to actually get to your end goal, okay? And the people that succeed at a very young age are the people who, guess what? They just moved through those failures very, very quickly, okay? This took me a lot of time to understand because I was always just like trying to analyze the options, trying to like make smart decisions, you know? I was watching different YouTube videos, analyzing if I should buy this course or this course, and should I start this business model, you know? I was stuck in that loop for a long time and it kept me broke because what I didn't realize is that whatever you decide to do, you're going to fail a couple of times first before you succeed. So might as well just like pick something, jump into it, and trust your own ability to figure it out as you go, okay? Because sitting there and analyzing and like trying to decide and like feeling like you're making, you feel like you're kind of making progress, you know, because you're sitting there and like watching different videos, analyzing different options, and you feel like, okay, I'm productive right now. In reality, that's like literally the worst trap you could ever fall into. Because when you're sitting there and like analyzing different options, what you're doing is you simply just like mentally masturbating. That's what you're doing. You're just like procrastinating, pushing stuff off, and you don't make any progress whatsoever, but it feels good. That's why you're probably stuck right now in that pattern where like maybe you're looking at doing some coaching program, or you're looking at starting some business model, you know? And then you're just like reflecting, you're analyzing, time is passing, and you're not making progress, you know? And then you finally start something, you start seeing some progress, but then like there's 10 other people that started at the same point as you, at the same time as you, who have made way more progress, just because they actually just like took action when they didn't have 100% certainty. That's the point I want to make here. You need to learn, this is what I learned that really changed my life, is to be able to move forward with stuff and just like make decisions without being 100% certain, okay? Understand that the way to succeed at a young age in entrepreneurship is to just like jump into stuff and being okay with it, the fact that not everything is gonna work out. Not every course that you buy is going to make you like 10x your income, you know? Not every business model is gonna be the business model that's gonna make you rich, you know? When I started my first agency, you know, when I was like 17 years old, I started like SMMA, like a Facebook ads agency. I was like, this is going to get me to my first 10K, 50K, and $100,000 a month, you know? I was like so set on that. And I started the business and I made some money in the beginning, I made a couple of grand, but like it was pretty much no profit at all. And I was like so set, like this is the business that's gonna get me to my goal. And thinking that way, it really is like hurt me, you know, because if there's like two different paths you can take. Either it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this business and like I'm set, this is the only way that I'm gonna ever make money. Or you can get into it and you will naturally see opportunities arise. You know, for example, what happened for me, I got into agency, I liked sales a lot. I wasn't good at running ads, copywriting, I didn't like that stuff at all. I wasn't really like interested in learning those skills or good at it at all. But I was good at sales. And then naturally through being in the agency and through the community that I was in, I was able to eventually get into a sales role, a high ticket sales role where I just focus on the sales stuff. And I got into that, started making 10K, 20K and more per month, you know, by doing that. That would only have happened if I just like jumped into it, took action, and then just like saw the opportunities around that came up like as I went with it, you know. But most of you guys, you never get to a point where you see this alignment because you're just so stuck on like, okay, I need to analyze, I need to make sure that the agency is the perfect thing for me to get into before I jump into it, you know. I need to make sure that sales is the perfect path for me to take before I get into it, you know. But the truth is like you're never gonna know until you start, and it might not even be the perfect path for you to take. You might get into a business model like drop shipping or an agency or something else, you know, and the reason for you to get into that might be so that you can figure out that a part of that business, you know, maybe you like sales, maybe you like marketing a lot, you know, you figure out that that's the thing that you really want to do, and then you go all in on that, and that's what's going to make you a lot of money, you know. But you only get to that point by taking the first step and taking imperfect action, okay. And the funny thing is like I've seen this time and time again. The people that sit there and analyze and feel like they're smart, they feel like it's usually like high, like intelligent people, like people that are like engineers, people that have a very like analytical way of thinking. You know, that used to be me as well. I was very analytical and we used to like overanalyze stuff until I made this change. Those people they're typically like high IQ people. They're smart, you know, but it holds them back in business because in business you're rewarded by just taking imperfect actions. You know, you see people that seem to be less intelligent than maybe what you are right now, but they're making way more money than you're making. I see this all the time, and it used to frustrate me, but now I learn from it. When I saw guys that were less smart than me were making way more money, and there's a simple reason for it because they're not holding themselves back. They're not sitting there and analyzing and waiting and looking at different options and analyzing if this course is going to be the perfect thing for me to do or this business model is going to be the perfect thing for me to do. They understand that they just take action, they trust their own ability to figure it out, and they trust that the path will align as they walk, okay? And this is so powerful. I know this might sound like a bit woo-woo, but it's so true, you know? My journey, it's always been the case. I started off doing dropshipping, affiliate marketing, and eventually I found out about the agency, you know? By just doing other business models, you know, because I was getting in touch with these different online entrepreneurs, seeing about new different business models. I got into agency, okay? Got into that, sucked at service delivery and doing ads for my clients, but I love the sales part. I love talking to people, okay? So what I do, I got into sales as a result of that, through the connections that I had through the agency program that I was in, and through the fact that I just took action. I just started cold calling, started just doing sales from agency. Thanks to the fact that I did that, I was able to figure out that sales was something I wanted to do. I got into sales, crushed it, you know, was able to do extremely well, love talking to people, love just having calls, and I was able to really change my life ultimately, you know, by doing that. But I only got to that point if I was just willing to just move into uncertainty. If I was sitting there and like analyzing, is agency the perfect business model for me to get into? Should I do agency for the rest of my life? And then when I go into the agency, like, is sales the perfect thing for me to do? Like, if I was sit there and like analyze, I would have never gotten to the point where I've actually made my first 10K a month, like so quickly as I did, you know? So I wanted to take away from this video is like, please just understand that like the path is gonna align as you walk it, and you need to just have that in like that belief in yourself that you will be able to figure stuff out and opportunities will arise as you walk on the path. And stop sitting there and feeling good about analyzing, you know? I know you probably have that voice in your head right now that's telling you, yeah, man, like I'm just analyzing a bit more. If I just make this decision, I just have a bit more information, I just wait a couple of more days, I just get a bit more clarity, then I'm gonna feel confident about committing to this business model or joining this program or whatever it is, you know? The truth is that's complete BS, and sitting in that place of indecision is the reason why you are not at the income level of someone like myself, or someone like, if I look at even for myself and more high level people, I'm not saying that I'm perfect at all, like nowhere close, you know? But if I compare myself to people that are making way more money than me, like 500K, a mil per month, those guys are even better than me at this stuff. They just take more imperfect action. So that's why I want to give this to you, because I want you to win. And the way to win is to stop tricking yourself that you're smart because you're analyzing different options, understanding that the way to move forward is just like jumping into it, moving through the failures, and trusting that the opportunities will arise as you go. So hopefully this is valuable. If you want help from me to get into online business and learn how to make your first 10K a month with high ticket sales, what I did, which is in my opinion by far the fastest path, and I've helped over 100 guys get into this, because you just need to learn the skill of sales, find one good job to work for, and you can make your first 10K a month. If you want my help to do that, you can apply for coaching by just applying, download this video. If you have any questions, DM me on Instagram. I'm happy to reply over there, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Let's get it. Ciao.